It's very interesting you say that, Dennis, because I looked through some of the suburbs, Wantirna, Knoxville, places like that. It's sort of outer eastern Melbourne, and it's occupied by, middle-class families, a couple of kids at school, both parents probably employed. And when you look at the issues that Labor's going to be up against when that by-election comes up, you're going to have potentially, depending on when it's called, a 10th increase in mortgage rates from the Reserve Bank. You've got petrol prices again starting to go back up. And inflation, as you know better than anyone, Dennis, is hitting things like supermarket prices. So it'll come down, won't it, Dennis, to who those people in Aston actually blame? Do they blame international circumstances, or do they blame the Albanese government?
Well, I think there is a growing trend and clear evidence that people are starting to blame the Albanese government. Now, there's also an historical aspect to Aston. Back in 2001, the Howard government was in big trouble. It lost a by-election in Ryan in Queensland. It was expected to lose the by-election in Aston. And Kim Beazley, riding high in the polls, was expected to win that seat from the Liberals. Now, there was the new GST just been introduced. John Howard won that by-election, and a lot of people at the time said that Kim Beazley was going to lose the federal election because he did not win that seat. Now, a federal election's a long way off, probably not till 2025, but this is an extremely important psychological, political moment for both leaders, and Anthony Albanese will need to be careful not to build up expectations of a win here, because he's running with a lot of interest rate and mortgage lead in his saddlebags.
Very emotional departing speech to the House after question time today, Dennis. I'll ask you in a sec why you believe that Alan Tudge felt the need to quit. But let's have a little look at some of the things that drove him out.
I'd like to inform the House that I'll be resigning from Parliament effective from next week. I informed the Prime Minister and the Speaker of my decision earlier today, and the Leader of the Opposition has known of my likely intent since early January, when my decision was cemented following the passing of my father. It's not been an easy decision for me, but it is necessary for my health and for my family, amongst other reasons. They've had to put up with things that no teenager should have to, including death threats, the most recent of which was last week.
Health and death threats, Dennis. No one wants to hear that, do they?
No, and look, it's always sad, or most of the time it's sad, to see an MP resigning before their time is up for reasons particularly connected to their family. And it was clear, everyone, all MPs, and despite Anthony Albanese made a point that obviously there have been differences between Alan Tudge and the Labor side, but everyone recognised, including the Prime Minister, as he spoke gracefully on Alan Tudge's resignation, about the impact on families, teenage children. And of course, Alan Tudge has gone through quite a bit. He's gone through quite a bit in relation to his family, his public life, and I think that it was sad to see the manner of his going, and it was also clear there was a palpable feeling in the House of Representatives of sadness, and you could see MPs thinking, yes, my family. I could see Labor members, some thinking, yes, the cost that our families pay for their political careers. I think that's the general message here, apart from the individual message from Alan Tudge.